House Records.
What's up, Sam Martians? Welcome back to the Sam Mo Show. I'm your host with the Sam Mo's Cleveland, and today I'm joined by a longtime friend and rapper from San Antonio, Malik Carter. Y'all might know him as M80. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Cleveland. Thank you for having me.
So how's your day going, man?
Man, this is my 6th day in a row of working. So
Consecutively?
I'm a tad bit tired, but got to get that paper.
I'm glad you can make it on the show, man. I'm really glad you could be here. So you work at Papa John's.
Unfortunately, that is true, yes.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
More racism. Papa John's.
I remember that whole meeting he had with the NFL. Oh, God, that was...
He's gone now. We had to remove his face from everything.
Seriously?
He used to be on the boxes and stuff, and we
God.
had a pizza named John's Favorite. We have to rename that.
What'd you guys rename it to?
It's literally, they just named it 6 cheese pepperoni Italian sausage. That doesn't have an actual name. All of our other specialty pizzas have real names.
So they didn't even make an attempt on it?
No.
Not just 6 cheese?
Yeah.
So what's it like working at Papa John's?
Honestly, it's a really easy job. You really don't have to do much. I'm a driver, so I do chores, basically. I wash dishes, sweep, mop the floor, stuff like that. Driving is super easy because you get to just drive around, listen to your music, go, here's your pizza, and get your little tip or whatever. My managers are probably the coolest managers ever. I can't go into extreme detail of what they let people do in the store because don't want to get anybody fired.
Of course.
But yeah, it's a really chill job. It's just very repetitive once you get to a certain point, but not bad.
You have any crazy stories, deliveries or anything that went crazy?
I've never had a super crazy delivery, and I want to say that's because I'm 6'3" and black, so
Yeah.
people don't want to test it with me. But I would say the 2 craziest I had. I'll start with the less crazy one.
Build it up.
I was going to Marion, because we deliver very far. To Marion, it's 17 minutes away from the store. So I get out there, and I love dogs. I love dogs all the time. I go to your house, I'll pet your dog. I go everyone's house, I'm always with their dog. But these 2 dogs were out there fighting, scrapping, Mike Vick level,
Oh, shit.
fighting. So I was I'm not finna get out of this car, and I'm gonna call the person. They can come to my car and get it, because normally you go up to their door and stuff. But I was I'm not gonna get out of this car, and they're oh no, you're fine. I'm I don't think I am, but eventually.
So they were just unchained in the yard.
Yeah, and it's a big ass lot, probably 2-3 acres, which is pretty big for Marion. Anyway, so they were just fighting out there. I was because if you run, they're gonna chase you,
yeah.
And they're gonna think you're scared. So I'm just okay. So I just have the pizza. I know it's something that they would like, so I'm walking out there. And I'm just do not look at these dogs. And I get to the door, and once they open the door, the dogs turn, because it's oh, that's my sign, I'm coming in or something. So they start running at me, and I was just don't move. Didn't move. The dogs were fine. They sent them back outside. Got to my car fine. So it wasn't, like I said, not that crazy, but it was just one of those things where it's just damn, that's a. Okay, so then the second one happened, I think 3 days ago. I was delivering, I don't exactly remember where, but the road to get to their house was closed, so I couldn't drive up there, and it's a big, long driveway. So it's probably a quarter mile, and that was one of the days where it was 44 degrees or whatever. Oh. So I was I'm not going to walk all of that, because there was a big woods part right there. I'm it's 8 o'clock. I don't know if there's coyotes or something out. So I'm I'm going to run up there. So I ran that quarter mile, knocked on the door. I'm I'm out of shape a little bit. Don't judge me.
You were huffing?
I was huffing a little bit, not the little, where you can tell that they ran a little bit.
Yeah.
So
trying to stand up straight.
Yeah, I'm I'm good. I'm an athlete.
Don't bend over.
Yeah, so I get to the door, and she didn't say anything about me huffing or puffing or anything. She didn't ask where my car was or anything. She just, the total was $29.55, and she hands me $30, says keep the change. That was my tip, the 50 cents or whatever. So I was like, wow, thanks
So generous.
so much. So then I had to run all the way back to my car too. So I got my workout for the day.
You like wait till she leaves the door. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk this real quick.
Oh yeah, whenever you don't get a tip, because you're only seeing the customer for like 30 seconds max at a time. So it's just like that big fuck you when they finally close the door. You're just like, $1 really?
Really?
Come on now.
So, as I mentioned earlier, you go by M80.
Yes, sir.
So you're a rapper. So how long have you been doing this for, man?
Well, I started writing probably in like fifth grade.
Really?
I would write everything, stories, poems. I would, of course, rap, music. I did singing stuff. I cannot sing to save my life. I still think I can sing. When I'm writing, sometimes I'm like, oh, can't do that. But yeah, probably like 4th or 5th grade is when I started getting into like writing everything. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about recording, I recorded my first song junior year, I think. Yeah, junior year. And it was a diss track to my friend Jamal. I don't know if you heard the song. It is complete garbage. My flow is awful, trash. I don't know why anybody let me release it and think it was good. But it actually got like 8,000 plays.
Seriously?
First release and everything. I didn't promote it very much. I promoted it like that day only because I was like, this really isn't as good as I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I went to bed with it at like 100 plays, and then it just randomly jumped to like 8,000.
Shit.
And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, I'm the shit. And then, 3 months later, you go back and you listen to it again and you're like, yeah, I got to delete this. So it's deleted from my profile.
So, like, who were your main inspirations, really, growing up?
Well, I honestly really didn't get into, like, other people's music until probably 6th or 7th grade. So I was already writing my own stuff before then. It was pretty trash. I only had, like, one completed song from then. I actually think that one was pretty decent. But J. Cole, obviously, everyone always says I look like him, but I like to think I can write like him too. Drake, of course, big Drake fan too, if you know me. I like Big Sean a lot. And then I took like some inspiration from like Nas, Biggie. I didn't really take any from Tupac.
Oh, man.
But I was born on the same day as Tupac, which is...
That's all you need.
Fun fact. So, yeah, so I don't need to study him. But, of course, you, like, learn from whoever came before you. You take bits and pieces. You don't steal it. You take, like, bits and pieces, and you just grow from that. And that's what I like to think I learned from.
I've always liked J. Cole a lot. I think he's still... Because I think he came in right before trap really started coming in. Mm-hmm. And, like, J. Cole's lyrics and, some of the shit he talks about, it's real stuff. It's not... He's never really bragging about all the shit he has. He's talking about real experience and real struggle. Mm-hmm. And now I don't know. I mean, trap music's okay. I like to listen to parties and shit. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
When Sicko Mode and Mo Bamba come on at the parties.
That ass. Yeah, J. Cole's one of those guys that their music can go from generation to generation, and you're not going to lose a step. I know a lot of people like to just say he's boring because he's not talking about what they want to hear.
Yeah, of course.
But if you sit down and you listen to his lyrics, you're gonna be amazed.
And I think she's gonna kill me when I bring it. But one of my friends, she's taking world religions class, mm-hmm. and I think it was Buddhism. I think it might have been Hinduism, but I'm gonna say it's Buddhism for the sake of me just being consistent. So they have 4 universal truths, and one of the truths is that suffering is universal, and I think that's why I think J. Cole and a lot of the early hip hop rappers, especially, did so well and related to so many people because mm-hmm. Maybe you didn't grow up in the projects, but you've experienced some of the stuff they're talking about. For sure.
Yeah. Even if you've just been there, a couple times, you're helping out in the community or whatever, you see what people are mm-hmm. going through on the daily basis, and it's just like, I'm really blessed right now, but you're connecting with those people that aren't as blessed as you, and then you give back and stuff like that, and that's always nice to see.
Yeah, the song "Wet Dreams" by J. Cole. I remember I was thinking about those lyrics the first when I lost my virginity back in high school. I was thinking, I'm like, nothing like that first time she was in my math class. I was like, man. But at the same time, I mean, I was able to relate to that. I was mm-hmm. that kind of anxiety of it because it was a very similar situation. Like my parents were out of town. I'm like, whoa.
You're nervous. Yeah, you're trying to you're trying to get into it, but at the same time you're like, what if I mess up? What if I mess up?
Trying to hype yourself up.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it was awful. But at the same time, everybody's first time's awful, I think.
Mine wasn't really that bad.
Oh, you gonna brag?
She was more experienced than me, so
that's good.
That wasn't a problem. It's just me finding the hole, and that was it. And we were good from there. Going
to town.
We were good from there.
So why the name M80?
Honestly, we had no rapper name for me when we were recording the Jamal's diss track.
We just Malik?
Well, we knew it wasn't gonna be Malik, but we were trying to find out something. So we're just going. I have no idea what was even like mentioned for a name. Like Andres, my friend Andres, shout out to Andres if you're listening. We don't really talk that much anymore, but he's the one that just came up with it randomly, and we were like, we like that. We'll go with that one. So that's what it's been ever since.
So I was thinking, because I wasn't sure, but I was like, maybe it's like your basketball number or something like that. Just
nope.
Maybe it rings nice. I like the M80.
It's actually a firecracker.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That works really good then.
Yeah, because I mean, I can throw that in a bar somewhere too.
It sticks.
Yeah,
it definitely sticks. So you released your new song just last week.
Well, it released on SoundCloud a while ago, but like Apple Music and SoundCloud, it came out about a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, called Can't Hang. So and we're working on recording right now here at the Sam Mo Show. But so how'd you guys record that? Like, what was the process for it?
Okay, so first of all, Salo made the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Salo's my producer. Great, go listen to his beats. He made the beat probably 3-4 weeks before we ever started recording it. So, I'm writing my stuff, and he posted the beat on his music account, and Smiley hits us up, and he's like, hey, let's do something together. And I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I'm never going to, like, I like working with other people, seeing what they can do, and it just helps both of y'all grow because it gives more attention to both of you. So I was like, yeah, of course. It took about 3 weeks for us to actually get together because he's in college, and me and Diallo goes to an online music school. It's like one of the best in the country. Can't remember what it's called. Sorry.
And then Kyle goes to UIW in San Antonio.
So I just work, but still, I'm always working 4:30 to whatever. So we were trying to find a day to get together, and me and Smiley only had one verse written each.
Oh, shit.
Because we were like, we'll just come up with the chorus on the spot. So we recorded both of our verses fairly easily because we had those down. We were practicing. We still needed another verse. So that's my second verse was written in like 5 minutes, like total. So it's not the best verse ever, but it's a verse. And then for the chorus, we were sitting in the room for like an hour after we had recorded, and we're just chilling, listening to the beat, trying to find something that would stick. Smiley goes to pee. He comes back in. Guys, I got it.
Seriously?
Can't hang. That niggas can't hang. Come for one of us. We gonna pull up with the gang. I was like, all right, shit, record that. Like, go ahead. Like, because it says it's my song, but it's really pretty much both of our songs. Like, we did about half on the song total. But I was like, yeah, go. That's all you. Like, I didn't do nothing for it. I'll never take credit for someone else's work. You can go have that.
Yeah.
So he recorded it, and then we hung out for like another hour just talking about music stuff, chilling. And then he left. I was still there. He's mixing it all together and stuff. He got it mixed like the next day, and that's when the song was like finished. And we just had to come up with the album cover. Because
I remember like when you talking about coming up with stuff like that too, because the show came out a week later than I wanted it to, and I could not come up with a name for the life of me, because the Cleveland show would have been like the most logical choice for sure, like no brainer. But that's copyrighted, and I'm not going to war with Fox about that. So
never that.
No, I don't have the money to go to court. So I was thinking about calling it because the river that runs through the park here, we have a park, and fun Texas State fact: Texas State University is the only college in North America with a river going through it.
They live.
It's so the park there, it's called Sewell, and so I was gonna be an edgy boy, and I was gonna call it Sewellside Podcast.
Oh gosh!
But I was like, at first I was kind of on the fence about it, but then like everybody's like, no, fuck it, just go for it. Make this is your thing, and I was like, I want to do it, and then I made a bunch of accounts. I was ready to launch, and I was gonna record the next day. I was like, I don't know, man.
It doesn't feel right.
Like, suicide jokes, yeah, but like having an entire show based on that,
Yeah,
it's like, ugh.
It's a little bad.
And I remember I texted my friend Andrew, and I was like, because he was the first one. We were kind of bouncing the podcast idea. Back in high school, we were bouncing the podcast idea off each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I asked him, I was like, so what do you think about suicide? He goes, I think it's edgy. I like that, but I don't know how you're going to market that.
That's true.
And I was like, shit, you're right. And so I was like, all right, back to square one, I guess. And so I was sitting there, and I was like, I could not. And so I went to bed. I was like, I'll think of something tomorrow morning. And I remember I was laying in bed, and it was like, I get up around noon because I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm laying in bed, and my friend Garrett walks in. Or not my friend and roommate walks in from the bathroom, and I roll over. I'm like, dude, the San Mo show. That's it.
That's
I got it. He's like, I like that.
That's the tweet.
That was it. I was like, that's it right there. That's done. It's done. And so the rest was history. But, of course, I had to remake all these accounts, do channel art. It was ridiculous.
When you were asking, I think I gave you the best idea personally. I named it. I said, I'm Cleveland. This is for you.
I'll put that in for the soundbite, too, for this episode. But so what was it like working with Kyle?
Oh, he's great. We've been friends for a long time. We met in track, actually, and I'm one of the slowest people you know. So if you're hearing that, you're probably like, what? But I made it to nationals for track. I would just like to put that out there, too.
Just going to plug that real quick.
Smiley made me met probably 5th or 6th grade, and we separated. We didn't go to the same school. That was before everyone had smartphones that we could plug with each other with. Came back to Clemens, and he was doing his K Smiles thing when Josh was teardrop and all that.
KYB.
Yeah, and I was just watching all of them. I'm like, I can do music too, but I was like, I'm not really the one to put myself out there like that. So I was like, they can have it, But then when I actually did start working, I always knew I wanted to work with Smiley and stuff like that because I'm like, he's my friend. He makes music. Like, what's not good about this? But like I said, when we got there, we were just talking about music because we knew we both had a verse. That was it. So we were trying to work, but at the same time, we're all catching up too. So we're all just talking. Me, Salo, and Smiley. We're all just talking, having fun, joking around. And that's the good thing about music, where you don't have to be super serious about it, because it's an art, and you can mess around with it, tamper with it how you want, and make it your own. So it was just a really fun experience because we just got to hang out. Really, it wasn't like it was just work, and that's why I like rapping. It's not just work. It's more fun.
Yeah, because me and Kyle, we go way back. I've known him since I was 4 years old.
This big old forehead.
Yeah, we went to First Baptist Academy. God, many psychology studies you could do on me in that school. That is a case that I could talk about for probably 2 hours. But we went to the same school. He and I were really, really good friends. And I remember the only reason I left was for football, because my dad dragged me into it in 5th grade. I hated it. But I came back for the second season, and I had a really good time, and I made some really good friends. And so then I wanted to keep playing, but Pee Wee stopped after 6th grade. Yeah. He started going to junior high stuff. And First Baptist only had a soccer team, basketball team, and volleyball team.
It's a little weird, but
yeah. Well, that's all. I mean, it's a small private school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so what I did is okay, I'm going to go to Corbett, play football there, and peace out to all 20 of my classmates at First Baptist. Clevekowski. But that's why everybody calls me Cleveland around school, because there were 4 Jacobs on the football team for BVYA. And so they had Jacob Lovelady, Jacob Richardson, and there's Jacob Cleveland. And so they just started calling us by our last names, because they'd be like, Jacob, get over here. And 3 of us would come over and no, not you.
Yeah.
And so I started going by Cleveland. And so the only guys I knew at Corbett were from the football team. So they introduced me as Cleveland to everybody, and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, that's how I was introduced to you. I didn't even know your name was Jacob until probably the 3rd week where we started hanging out.
You would not believe how many times somebody's asked me, he's like, hey, Cleveland, what's your last name? And it's like, oh, God.
Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. It's like, wait, what? It's like, no. Yeah, but so me and Kyle, we go way back. God, I remember, because they had an after school program called ELS, and we would play for hours. I remember one, I don't know why it sticks so well, but we're probably 9 or 10 years old, and we were just kicking the soccer ball across the parking lot back and forth to each other for 45 minutes or at least an hour. It was forever. We didn't have a lot to do there.
I can see.
Oh, God. So, was it an overall good experience?
Of course, yes. I would. We're actually in the talks to do it again. I talk about it like it's a contract.
That was the next thing I was going to ask. I'm like, so you got anything new coming up?
I have a lot of stuff in the works right now. Salo sent me a lot of beats. My friend Jamal goes by Shad for rapping. I've been on one of his songs already. But we have a couple on the way too. I'm doing one with Che Boogie Bowman. And then I have a couple solo ones coming out.
That's good. It's because I was listening to it, and I was personally surprised to kind of hear you rapping, because like you're a pretty soft spoken guy in person. You're really calm, but you were tearing it up. I was like, shit, is this Malik?
I'm way too aggressive on that. If you hear some of our old recordings, it's just like bitch, like that part in Mo Bamba
like
where
angry.
it's just like but. That's because he fucked up. Like the recording,
he just kept rolling with it.
Yeah, and so it just worked, and then he went into it. But yeah, I yell.
I was at a frat party last weekend. I remember they played Mo Bamba, and I was like, oh, this tired old shit again. I was sitting there, but then I was like, oh fuck, shit, bitch. I was like, yeah. I was like, it never fails to get people hyped. But I am ready to move past that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We need a new one.
We need something new.
Drake dropped something. If you listen to this, we need a new. We need party banger.
Some people are saying Drake's falling off.
Oh, he needed that, and you want to see me pick back up, but where'd he leave it at? Come on now.
I don't know. Like for me, I feel like he's gotten away from like the feelies kind of Drake. He's kind of got more to like the, he kind of bounces between stuff. I remember that one album, he was all about like the dance hall kind of sounding music, and like I think it's okay for artists to experiment, but
I wouldn't call him a rapper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him like a pop artist. I wouldn't call him like an R&B artist. I think he's good at all three, but to limit him to one, I wouldn't say so. And I think that's why a lot of people like stop messing with him, I guess, because he's in too many genres. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but
I think Drake is just Drake.
Yeah, like there's no other person that's really like him.
I think because my friends and I, we sometimes talk about that, like how we think of like people from our parents' generation, like we think like rock and roll, stuff like that, like big bands, and stuff like that. I'm like, who are the kids gonna think of? Like, who are our kids gonna think about?
Drake.
I'm thinking like Drake, Cardi B, Ariana Grande,
Kendrick, maybe
I hope
Cole.
Kendrick. Yeah.
Those are like the three quote unquote rappers that they would think of. Of course, there's other great ones. I'm just saying those are like our big three.
Yeah, Drake's got the personality though. That's kind of what separates him too. He's a big personality.
Yeah, he's the only one out of those three that puts themselves out there.
I mean, really. He's out there. He can act too, of course. He's
that's where he started. Yeah.
But I mean, like whenever he hosts, I love it when he hosts SNL. It's so damn funny.
Yeah, he's just a funny dude, and I don't get why I get a lot of people just hate because he's like so successful. Like same thing with LeBron. Like everybody just hates when you're that good at what you do.
Yeah.
But like honestly, I don't see a real reason to hate Drake. But that is biased.
Yeah. And I cannot believe he survived that beef with Pusha T. He exposed his ass hard.
Okay, like I said, this is biased, so you don't have to take this to heart because I am a diehard Drake fan.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Pusha T's diss was all that great. I felt like it was a magazine article released on Drake.
Yeah, that like The Inquirer or something like that.
I feel like that was it. Oh, you have a kid. Big whoop. Nobody knew 21 had a kid until his new album, until the letter from my mama where he's like, I got 2 kids. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But you move past it. It's like...
What do you think about that whole thing with 21 Savage, with him getting deported?
I think that was funny. I wasn't joking about it because that is a very serious thing. Like, ICE is crazy. But then when he got released and was talking about how it was a joke, I'm like, okay, I'm good for laughing at all that stuff.
Some of those memes, man.
Sir Savage the 21st.
How many crumpets you got? A lot.
That was Smiley again. Shout out Smiley.
Shout out Smiley. God, what was it? They had that one picture of 6ix9ine where he was in the courtroom, and it's like you're looking at a life sentence. It's like, y'all ever notice 21 Savage looks kind of British?
Yes.
I mean, I saw it from the beginning. I was like, have you ever seen the man's teeth?
They are.
I was like, he looks British as shit.
They do got some
there's
stereotypical yellow teeth.
God, what was that? They were just talking about like the height. And the girl's got a certain height, and like Queen Elizabeth's that same height. It's like, that's who he's talking about.
5'5". She might right at the height.
It's the Queen. I don't know, because Demi Lovato got absolutely annihilated by Twitter.
Yeah. I feel bad for Demi
I do too.
I was never like a Demi hater. I never listened to her music.
Yeah.
But like I watched Sunny with the Chance and that movie with the Jonas Brothers. Like
I mean, she's gone through a lot of stuff too.
yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm like, dang, y'all don't gotta come for her that
he just
hard.
ripped her to shreds.
Especially because everyone else was making jokes about it. But
no, it's funny too because like everybody's laughing and then it's like, I know you're not laughing, Demi. You smoke crack, don't you?
yeah, I was like, oh, okay. It's like in Twitter when people are arguing and then someone has the rest in peace to somebody in their bio and they're like, nobody misses.
I was like, why you gotta go for the neck like that?
Like, it's not that serious.
Please stop. Oh, I feel, man, God, I've seen some of those are like the worst beat downs where it's like, it's like, ain't nobody coming back from this. It's like, now there's your brother. I'm like, damn, stop.
It's just like, what did they do to you? Like, why?
Twitter is such a negative place in general.
That's why I love it.
It's a cesspool. Speaking of some of the stuff you're seeing online right now, how do you feel about R. Kelly?
In short, that nigga crazy.
Dude, you see the interview he had today? It was on CBS.
The new one today. I saw the one where everybody made a meme. Is that one?
Yeah, where it's like, I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah. I never actually watched the video.
I mean, the dude sounds fucking insane.
I think he probably is. He probably has something that's not.
I wouldn't be
going
surprised
right
at
in
this
his
point.
brain.
But like just the stuff he's talking about, and the reporter Miss Knight, she asked him, he's like, so you're telling me all of these witnesses are lying? And he goes on this whole ramble and something. I was like, but I was talking to my friends about it. I was like, he never said no. And I think he knows he's damned kind of, but like he was, and so once he got back into that corner, he just started like, that's where he started getting up out of his seat and started yelling, trying to create a distraction. She kept her cool. Like she stuck to him.
One of my coworkers was talking about the whole situation, and it's one of the only other black people at the store. So, if he's bringing up a black topic, they're going to listen to him.
Yeah.
So he was like, the only reason R. Kelly is free right now is, one, because he's talented, and two, because black people are ignorant. Like, they don't want to see another black person go to jail, even though he obviously had did it. Like, what's his name? With the glove. What was the name? OJ.
Yeah.
OJ did it. We all know he did it.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to see him go to jail.
That's still something that I find pretty divisive. Have you seen, there's that episode of Family Guy where they're like Brian, he's got his roommate in college and they're on the couch and they go, we the people find O.J. Simpson not guilty. And then they both get off the couch at the same time and Brian's like, what? And the guy's like, yes. And they look at each other like, I think we should move out. And he goes, I think so too. They just like go their separate. That was such a crazy case. But like, I think BuzzFeed did a thing on it. They did a piece where they're talking about like, we're not saying he didn't do it, but like, they were talking about CTE and like brain damage from football and like one of the early side effects, because you can't tell until after the person's died when they cut open the brain.
Yeah.
But they're saying like one of the side effects is very early on, you're really, really aggressive. But that could get into a whole conversation about like football players, and because some people say like it's more conditioned, like you are rewarded when you act violently and aggressively on the football field.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
And so then when they're just more inclined at that point to be aggressive in real life.
I can see that, yeah.
So, I mean, I think it could be both, too. Some people, in that argument, like, y'all are discounting the fact that both of y'all could be right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In most arguments, both people can't be right.
Some of those people, I get football. I understand the risks of football. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, people who want to get rid of it, I'm like, look, until you get rid of boxing, you get rid of MMA, where the goal of the object of the thing is to knock the guy unconscious.
Yeah. It's just one of those things going on right now. They want to stop anything that's not, like, in their agenda, And me, it's like, I don't want my kids to personally play football, like, after all these reports and stuff have come out. But I'm not going to stop somebody else's kid from playing football. Yeah. Like, that's not my choice to make.
Yeah.
So.
Because personally, like, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today without football. And I don't know if I want my kids playing high school football. I think, but up until then, especially like Pee Wee, when they're all like 80 pounds running at each other at like a mile an hour, they're gonna just off each other, and that's gonna be it. And so, but like for me, like I grew up an only child, and so I had to, especially because I went to First Baptist Academy. Yeah, I didn't get to see my friends from school outside of school. Yeah, and so what I would really do most of the time is I would go back to my room, and I'd hop on the GameCube. And I'd play that until I went to bed, because I had social anxiety issues. I had a hard time talking to people. Mm-hmm. I was overweight. It was just a bad thing. And especially for like baseball, other sports, there's not, especially like soccer too, like there's not really a place for like fat kids in soccer. But in football, you got a place for fat kids. You put them on the line, right? And so my dad drags me into football, and at first I hated it, but like I started to like my teammates, stuff like that. And also, I still have bad trust issues, but I'm working on it. And one of the things that really helped me, especially from that really young age, was having a team. Because what makes football special is like all 11 guys on that field have to perform their job perfectly to score that ball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because in basketball, LeBron can pull up from half court and shoot a three. He scores all those points. 11 guys score the points in football. And so I think, like I said, I wouldn't have gone to public school. I wouldn't have gotten to make the friends I made in high school. And I probably wouldn't be as into the sport as I am now. But I think for me, it's changed me a lot. And also, I think it helps build character in kids. Or I don't know. I read this quote the other day. It says, sports don't build character, they reveal it. And I do kind of like that. I think every kid should at least play a sport or like an instrument or something.
Oh, yeah. I think they should definitely put themselves out there in some way, shape, or form. But the good thing right now for kids is like a lot of esports are becoming very popular, and you can get scholarships from them now.
Really?
Yeah. I actually learned that while playing 2K.
Really?
Fun fact. Yeah.
Oh, they have scholarships for 2K.
They're starting to put out scholarships for esports now. So I think that's going to help a lot of kids too, because for that you have to have a team of 4 other people as well for basketball. Anyway, I don't know about Madden and anything
I don't know how that would work.
But like for 2K, you have to have 4 other guys out there. So I think that's bonding too, and it's just cool to see things changing,
I think it's good that video games are getting a better rap now.
Yeah.
Because, for the longest time, especially like look back in the 90s, people were like, oh, video games, they cause violent crimes.
Everyone wants to kill each other because they play video games.
And I think it's because like for me, if anything, it's more of an outlet. Like it's just an escape. I think it's like But and the thing too is like you can pull up old news articles from like the 1920s and talk like there's these old people bitching about the good old days where it's like and these young people are have their books or have their face buried in these novels and they're not paying attention to what's around them. So I think old people are just gonna stay pissed about whatever's new.
And that's I think our generation could be one of the first ones to change that
because how connected we are with the internet.
Everything else, I think our generation will be a shifting point. We'll see if it's a good one or a bad one.
Yeah.
Well, if we all survive global warming.
Yeah, that's assuming we're not already too far gone. But.
Yeah, I think if we survive another, let's say, 300 years. I think ours would probably be one of the big turning points in social history.
I think so, too. I think we have a lot at our disposal. I mean, look right now. I'm running a show out of my laptop.
Exactly. And what other generation could have done that?
Yeah, like I said, like if you want a show, you have to have, think back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. You had to be able to like get on air and like, I'm not saying, I'm not the most qualified person, but I got a passion for it and I want to do this.
Exactly, and it's easier for you to do that and outlet yourself instead of just following some strict guideline that was given to you.
Or having to climb through the system. I can just be self-made.
Exactly.
And they're saying that's reflecting a lot in our generation versus millennials. Like the whole kind of, like the one of the phrases that our generation agrees on a lot is like, they like, have you ever seen those ones where it's like 1, strongly disagree, 2, disagree, 3, neutral, 4, 5? So, and it was like, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Compared to other generations, we answered really high on that one because we're becoming more and more self-reliant, especially with the internet now. Like I said, you can go to college online. You can produce stuff online. You can watch movies, everything online. Mm-hmm. But also I'm thinking, like, if we lost the internet, man, we would be fucking helpless.
I mean, but that's what we grew up on.
Yeah.
If you, let's say, our parents, if we lost cars, how would they be?
I mean, shit, how would I be?
They probably haven't rode a bike since they were 12.
Well, shit, I mean, all bills on it, too. I would be pretty, down a fucking river without my car, too.
Well, I'm just saying, there's that. I mean, I'm not saying cars were invented, like, when our parents' age, but I'm saying, like, those big technological advances that everyone says, oh, you guys wouldn't survive without this. Well, you wouldn't have survived without whatever that was just invented for you.
I'm sure there's, like, somebody back
there's going to be something that's invented for our kids that...
in, like, 1850, where it's like, you guys, with your plumbing and shit.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we had to go take a shit outside. Yeah. So I think... Like I said, I think people are just going to stay mad about whatever they want to stay mad about.
Of course, because somebody has what they didn't have.
Yeah. And the thing, too, is, like, millennials are, like, just a little bit older than us, but there's still a big difference between the two of us is because we've had the internet for our entire life. A lot of them got the internet, like, the real internet now, when they were in, like, late high school, early college.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up on it. Like, I remember, like, early YouTube, shit like that. Oh, I get nostalgic for that kind of stuff.
everywhere.
Because that was the thing too. When I was like a shut-in, I would just watch like old, like early YouTube videos and stuff like that. You remember those like blue text screens?
Oh my
stuff
god.
Like that? Oh god. They're like...
Well, the weird thing about us is, like, I think it's like 1997 through like 2001. We're both. We're Generation Z and we're millennials, technically.
Really?
Like,
I've seen one where they say the cutoff point's 1995.
Yeah, I was looking it up. There's no like specific one for, I guess, because we're not like
fully developed
far
yet.
enough from it to see where like the gradual cutoff is. But technically, according to what I saw, don't know if this is 100% certain. Can fact check me if you would like. That we are both. So I was like, that's kind of weird to think about because everyone always calls us millennials no matter what.
Yeah. But
I'm like, we're not really millennials though.
Yeah, we're kind of, I always insist, like we're Generation Z, we're on our own thing. And I don't know, one thing actually, because I'm thinking about joining the honors college and our age group, like if I'm going to write an essay, I was thinking about writing about the suicide rates for our age group. Because
it's insane right now.
I could probably pull it up during the break. We've been increasing from 2007 to 2017. We've gone up, like on average, I think like 5 or 6 points, and that's like 5 or 6 people per 100,000. And so the way we're climbing right now, if you keep going at this rate, assuming it doesn't keep going higher like exponentially, by 2027 we will be the second highest age group for suicide.
This is
insane. This is something we haven't seen on a level.
What's
before.
That age group, like 18 to 25?
I think it's 15 to 21 right now. So we're kind of the end of that age group, but like it's going up a lot.
I think, and that's probably more the time where people are like shut out from certain groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, growing up's hard.
Because, like, I mean, when you're younger, everyone just invites you into the group, you know, we're all best friends. And then when you get older, it's like, that's when you start noticing those differences in groups where it's like you have the quote-unquote jocks, quote-unquote nerds, like stuff like that.
Yeah, high school especially.
And it's just like...
I mean, talk about mental illness starting to come into that, too. Yeah. It starts to really start showing
itself. And a lot
itself.
of people have, like, anxiety and depression. Yeah. A lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, and nobody really wants to talk about it as much as we should. We make a lot of jokes about it on Twitter and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's cool in that second, but then you like when you're by yourself and you lock your phone and you're just in your room alone, and that's when it starts like hitting you, like like you still feel alone even though you see all these people that are like going through the same stuff. That's
one of those weird things because like we're more connected than ever, but yet we
alone.
Feel more lonely because we don't have that genuine connection anymore. A lot of it's, I feel like we're trying to create this disconnect between like the person we are online and the person we are actually.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I think that's why you see a lot of spam accounts. You know, you have like the actual like, here's what I want my boss to see kind of thing, and it's like, here's me actually freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, and here's me crying on my phone at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I think it's one thing. I think too is with the young men in our generation too, because I feel like a lot of young men suffer from depression and anxiety, but we really don't get to talk about it as much.
Never, ever.
Because I think too is like, I think that's why you see so many school shootings. I think, I'm not saying it's a direct link, but I think there is a lot of undiscussed issues.
Anger built up, for sure, because you feel like you have no outlet.
Yeah.
Even if you're closest friends, because like with your closest friend, you don't want to talk about how sad you are to them.
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you're dragging them down.
Exactly.
You feel like you're not manly enough to hang out with them. I know you were talking about manliness on the last show. It's just like, it's one of those things that's like, it shouldn't be set to certain things.
And that's the thing too, because like, if I asked you, what does it mean to be a man in 2019? There is no definition.
Answer.
And the thing too is, I know historically, like women, especially like, you know, over the past, you know, over the 20th century, the 1900s, like historically oppressed, but at the same time, they've had the beneficiary of almost 100 years of dialogue around what it means to be a woman and how women should be.
I think we overdo that sometimes too, which is our problem with women. But that goes both ways, because men and women both have their problems with social stuff, because we over-feminize women all the time, and then we under-feminize men all the time, and that's just like using the feminization thing as a word to use. But it's like men can't do anything that a woman could do, but then we say women can't do the same stuff men can do. You know.
And I don't know. I think. And people sometimes get upset when we talk in like general terms. Mm-hmm. And the thing with social psychology is what they say is every individual is the exception to the case, because nobody fits the mold perfectly.
Yeah.
Everybody's unique in their own way. But at the same time, when you look at women historically, they've had this almost 100 years of dialogue talking about what it means to be a woman, how you should be. But men really haven't had that talk. Our idea of manliness is outdated. It's from the 60s.
Outdoorsy football.
Yeah, the
barbecue.
Nice jawline coming home to the kids kind of thing. And that's not, the world's not like that anymore.
It's not.
And I mean, I'm not like saying like we need to take anything back. I just think we need to have a working definition.
We need to have a new discussion about what it means.
I saw a flyer and I was thinking about going to it, but I decided not to. But they were saying like it was like redefining men. That was the whole like name of the retreat. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, I was like, you can't redefine what has no definition.
Yeah, because it's not defined yet. So.
Because you can't. Because we saw this problem where it's like the vulnerability aspect. Women typically can get away with crying in public more than men can.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's just the different ways men and women act, especially even online too. You look at that because I think men online, we play games with each other. We play 2K, we do competitive stuff. But when it's over, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
But I think women, you see, on average, they do more social game playing. It's online, it's gossiping, it's image tweaking.
It's actually
like
funny because me and my cousin Jalen will go play basketball, and it's like we're best friends off the court, Yeah. But when we get on the court, we are pissed off at each other. That's just like our safe place, and we know whatever happens on the court, we're not going to take it off.
And that works. I like that. I mean, it's an outlet. It's an escape like anything else. It allows you to kind of get away from things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that aspect of it too. I think because guys, I mean, whether you want to argue whether it's their nature or they're taught to be like that, regardless of there are a lot of guys in the world, and a lot of them are a little bit more competitive. Like I said, the origin of that, we can debate all night. But regardless, we're still a little more competitive. I feel like that kind of aggression has been discouraged to an extent, and I think there's the difference between competition and aggression, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like the competitiveness has been kind of downplayed a little bit. I feel like it doesn't allow us to have that outlet because I feel like the education system in a lot of ways has failed a lot of young men in later years, just because.
I can see that, yeah.
I think, especially in like grade school, I think girls are seen as like the model student because they're well behaved. They mature a lot faster than men.
Yeah, so it's not even. It's genetically not our fault. Like, yeah.
Women, they're a little bit. They mature a little faster at that age. They're a little bit more emotionally controlled. Even, I mean, talk about the development of your frontal cortex where you think. It's still not full. It doesn't for men. It does
25.
Yeah,
right?
It doesn't finish till we're 25, and so like we still do stupid shit because we're not fully cooked yet. And like but for women, I mean, they finish around 21, mm-hmm. and so that's why the drinking age is 21 because you know what, people would go crazy if girls could drink 4 years before guys could.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even at that age, that makes such a world of difference. Like there's such a world difference between a first grader and a fifth grader. That's only 4 years.
It's crazy because when we're young, those 3 years are huge. Yeah. But then when you're like 35. And you're talking to a 32-year-old, you wouldn't even know.
It all blends together.
Y'all aren't the same age.
My parents are 5 years apart. I couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
But like it's so importantly developmental. I think a lot of young boys they have a lot of enthusiasm and they're just really energetic.
They always want to do something. Yeah.
They want to go run around. They want to go play, and they don't encourage that in school.
Yep.
And so then what do they get diagnosed with? They get diagnosed with ADD, and then they dump pills down their throat, and then they get stunted. Young men, like I said, I mean, that could put them behind the curve forever.
Yeah, I was really blessed because I was naturally pretty smart, and my mom, she was helping me learn and stuff. So I was always one of those models because I've always been like really chilled out and stuff like that. So I was always like the example for the class and stuff, and it's just like. But at a point, you don't want to be the example for everyone, It's like because there's no perfect student, like. Because I don't understand everything you're going to tell me. And because I'm supposed to be the model student, I'm not going to ask questions.
Yeah, and they shouldn't expect you to know
because
everything.
I'm like, I'm supposed to already know this. I'm supposed to have this down. So I'm not going to raise my hand and ask a question because then I'm not the model student anymore. Yeah. And then it just got to the point where I hated school. I am very smart. Like, we can have a deep conversation about pretty much whatever you want all night. But it's just like I hated school growing up because you felt like you had to be too perfect,
I think the standardized tests are really bad too. I think the way they do that now because it's how schools get funding, and so teachers are then encouraged you have to teach to this test, and you can't stray from it because then our scores will go down. And
you barely have time to help the students that are falling behind and all that because you have to stay on that curriculum.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think if you take away that stuff and you just start giving schools the funding they need, and because I mean it's such a small % of our budget goes into education. If we just take I mean, we're
What
like,
is it like? It's like over 80% for military, isn't it?
it's over half. I think it's around 60-something% for military.
I don't know where I got 80 from it. I forgot. Clifton did not teach me well.
But like, it's so much of that goes to military. If we take a cut of that and put it into education to our future, I think you start seeing better results. And I think because, I mean, there have been classes where I barely scrape by with like a B kind of thing, or even a C sometimes. But like, I feel like I learned more in that class, maybe not material, but like how to work at something and how to, because there's sometimes where I have no idea how to understand. I have to go to tutoring. I have to work at it, how to study.
But I think some of the classes we teach are just dumb. Like, I've read so much stuff about that where it's just like, why do I have to learn trigonometry?
Yeah.
Why can't I learn about how to file taxes?
Exactly.
How to get a good, high-paying job? I know there's some classes that will touch on stuff like that, but like, it's not just a whole course set aside for something that could make you better at actual
And
life.
it's just giving you useless skills. Because I don't think college is for everybody. I really don't.
No, it's not.
I think that giving students the skills they need to actually go there. Because like I said, I know how to file taxes. I really don't.
I don't either.
Beats the shit out of me.
My mom did mine this
But
year.
I was doing AP physics.
Exactly. It's like, it gets to the point, like, I get learning basic math. I get learning basic English.
Yeah, algebra to an extent too.
Yeah, algebra 1 maybe.
Because that's that logic. That's the problem solving.
Yeah,
At the
if
same
you
time,
get
with
your basic stuff down.
knowing how to finance, knowing how to budget, it's still mathematics.
Yeah, but we didn't get that.
Yeah, we didn't get it. We decided to do more advanced stuff. And I think part of that, it's because it's old curriculum. Because they wanted...
Katoa.
Yeah, God. No, but I think it's that old curriculum because you think about like in the 50s and the 60s with the whole space race thing. They wanted all the kids to know about physics and stuff like that. And so they were just pouring all their resources into
Well,
that.
that's just more so America looks better to us. That's what more kids have patriotism. That's what that was.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot wrong with this country in general, but I think the education system is the way you start to fix that.
Oh, yeah, because we don't learn about a lot of stuff, but we learn about a lot of stuff that isn't important.
Yeah. And I think, what was it, Malcolm X, I think he said something like that, where like education is really the ultimate tool to like social mobility. Because if you're able to think, and you're able to express yourself, you can, communicate effectively with people, that you can go anywhere with that.
It's funny because we were talking about J. Cole earlier. He has a song called Miss America, and he's talking about how awful like America has been to minorities in general, people growing up in struggle, poverty, stuff like that, because they don't care about that. He says, I know I'm going to butcher this completely, but it's on the lines of where it's like, I'm going to learn your classes, I'm going to study your craft, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to burn your flag. So it's like, I'm going to learn from what you did, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to beat you at your own game, basically, what he's saying.
And I think there's a lot of problems with just how, like, talk about the cycle. A lot of things start with that. Talk about, actually, a guy gave a presentation in my communications class today about the war on drugs. How much damage damage that's caused.
Oh, my God.
Because when you think about it, you get a guy, usually a black man, almost always a black man, with like a gram of marijuana on him.
Yes.
They get arrested. They get thrown in jail because they can't afford to get a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're in there for a mandatory minimum, set of years.
Minimum sentencing is the dumbest thing to me.
It really is. I think everything should be a case-by-case basis. Possession's one thing. Dealing's another. Don't make it all the same. And so, of course, and granted that, the guy gets arrested, maybe he's got a kid. He's got a family.
Yep.
So then that mother has got
to work a single job.
You got to work a single job, but maybe even depending on where they're living, maybe have to move somewhere else where it's more affordable. And then that kid might be exposed to more, gang violence, more drugs.
Drugs is literally the dumbest thing ever. There's an Adam Ruins Everything on it. I don't know if you watch that.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that episode. I was like, and then, you have to go look stuff up, get some more knowledge on the topic. And I'm just like, wow, this was literally the dumbest thing we have ever done. Especially because I don't smoke weed. I've smoked twice. I get a lot of other drugs or plants too, but I'm like, there's literally nothing wrong with weed. More people die from alcohol.
I've never seen a guy so high that he beat his wife.
Exactly.
I think it's no worse.
I think it's better personally. I know we're never going to ban alcohol again, but I'm saying if one of them should be legal, I think it should be weed, personally.
I think America's starting to come around to that, though, a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, there's, like, a lot of the presidential candidates running, like, that have already entered the race, that's one of their top things, because they know that'll get millennials to vote for them and Generation Z people to vote for them.
I think one thing, too, is despite, the Trump administration, I could go on forever about that, but one thing that Republicans have done well is they are listening to criminal justice reform. I think Trey Gowdy, I'm not forgetting his name right. He was a senator from South Carolina, but he just retired this past term. But he was grilling one of the guys like, why is marijuana a Category 1 drug? Why is it amongst heroin, where cocaine's Category 2? It's higher than cocaine.
There was another Adam Runs Everything about why weed was illegal too, and it's because a lot of minorities were using it, and that's really what it is. And it was to criminalize and demonize Hispanic people. Yeah, that's really what it was. It was like, oh, they're using it, they're making money off of it. Let's make it illegal. Yeah.
Well, and then the thing too is it was pretty lax on it until around the '60s when you had a lot of the rebellions starting to spark up, and the main drug of choice for the hippies and even the Black Panthers too was marijuana. So if you criminalize that, you can arrest them faster and you can stop uprisings.
Exactly. And the fact that it's so like highly targeted on people today is crazy to me. I'm like, it doesn't impair much. Like if you have somewhat of a tolerance to it, like I know people that drive with that all the time, perfectly fine, probably better than what they normally drive at, because sometimes it does different stuff to different people, obviously. But I'm just like,
for me, I am a fucking useless high, dude. Like I am basically about as useless as a fucking sack of potatoes sitting there. I just get so stoned. I go to sleep. That shit makes me tired. I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed.
The first time I smoked, I had a blunt. I didn't get really high. The second time I used a dab pen, I was zoinked. I was gone.
Dab pens ain't no fucking joke.
I was gone. I was playing Smash Bros. I was at Sayla's house, and somebody said something stupid, and I just started crying, laughing, and I was like, pause the game. I can't see the screen. Pause the game.
Well, I remember two or 3 weeks ago, I took some special cookies, and it was taking forever. And then my friend, she said, man, these edibles ain't shit. I'm like, no, you just said the activation word.
Exactly.
And we were watching this anime, Devilman Crybaby, and it's like really psychedelic and stuff like that. And they had this club scene where the guy's like on an LSD trip and they're showing it from like his perspective. Yeah. And that's when the edibles kicked in.
Oh.
I was like, okay, turn it off. It's like, I don't want this to be a bad trip. But it was, some of that shit's really strong. And like I said, I'm making a 4.0. I have not had the urge to kill anybody at any point.
Exactly.
I have not become any more violent. If anything, I've probably chilled out a lot more.
Yeah. Some of my best friends do it all the time. And it's just like,
I think though, as you have more people going through life,
I think it'll be legalized by 2024.
I think so too. I think that's a good estimate, and I think they're making steps on criminal justice
state by state basis. I'm pretty sure half the states will have it legalized by 2020. But I'm saying for the country, probably 2024.
Yeah. I think so long as you got a Democrat in office.
Because that means Trump definitely won't be in office.
But the one thing with Trump, though, is, that meeting he had with Kim Kardashian, and I remember I was looking at that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is this the bad dream? Like I was like, we're having Kim Kardashian in the White House with President Donald Trump. But they discussed criminal justice reform, and I actually think she got through to him.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, she's probably a lot smarter than a lot of us realize. Because she really did build a brand from a porn video.
Yeah. I mean, imagine walking into like a room like that. It's like, all right, I got a multi-billion-dollar idea, and it's like, okay, let's hear it. And it's like, okay, so there's this girl, and she's gonna fuck Ray J. And it's like, okay, and that's it. But get the fuck out of here.
I think she's almost a billionaire. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, Kylie.
Kylie is a billionaire.
Yeah, now. She's the youngest self-made billionaire. That's gotten a lot of people upset.
Honestly, she might not be completely self-made, but for the most part, she is self-made. She used her name, marketed it, and did what she should with it, and made money.
You look at Khloe. Chloe's not as well known. She doesn't have her own line. I mean, she is, but like she doesn't have a brand like that.
She's famous because she's a Kardashian, but she's not as wealthy as Kylie's the most wealthy. I mean, and she's been out the least longest.
Yeah, I mean, she's.
I don't know if that makes
she's
sense.
about our age, right?
I think she's 21-ish.
I mean, that's crazy.
And she's a billionaire.
How much money? I think we're going to take a break right here, then we'll get right back into it.
Instead of saying, why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And, Cleveland, this is for you.
Okay, Sailor wanna be
Little bitch, I ain't playing none of these fucking games with your hoes reading verses like it's motherfucking Bible scripture. Finna memorize it, then show it to a friend. Mesmerize them bitches, and then start a trend. These niggas rapping about they cars, but they taking Uber. Swear they getting brain, but they ain't got no tutors. Claim they getting young as well, I just want them cougars. The crew just like the Warriors, we all fucking shooters. Nah, really, I'm just playing. Half the words they be saying, we all know they really ain't true. All the pictures they be framing and the worlds they creating ain't real, cause they got a face tattoo.
On God. Can't hang, y'all niggas can't hang. We come for one of us, we gon' pull up with the gang. M80 with the bars, can't smiles with the flow. What's cooking in the lab, that's my niggas say low. Can't hang, y'all niggas can't hang. We come for one of us, we gon' pull up with the gang. M80 with the bars, can't smiles with the flow. What's cooking in the lab, that's my niggas say low. Okay, I'm the one your girl always talk about. Yeah, I'm the one that always make her scream and shout.
All right, and we are back, and we have just enough time for our weekly round of fan mail. This one comes from Jaron Plummer, and his question for you, Malik, and he's asking you, do you think LeBron regrets leaving Cleveland and going to LA?
I don't think he regrets leaving Cleveland at all. Going to LA? Probably. He probably thought he was going to go there and do the same thing that he did with the Cavs, which is like make whatever trade he wants, and all this, set up his perfect team to go win a championship. Because LA really is the perfect basketball place. Like, if you grew up wanting to play in the NBA, you wanted to play for the Lakers, the Knicks, or the Celtics.
Yep.
Like, those are the three teams. And LeBron is an LA guy. So it's like, of course he wants to go to LA, be like Kobe, be like Will, all those guys. But then it's like, the Lakers still suck. So if he can make the playoffs this year, I think he'll be fine.
I mean, I think they're 7 games behind first place now, or not first, eighth place.
They can't be that. I don't know exactly what place they're in. I know they're not in the playoffs currently, but it's like next season they should be fine. Because everyone gets better there. They get to get whatever trade they try to make in the off season and all that. So, I guess I would say yes currently, but for future-wise, probably not.
And I think my unpopular Lakers opinion is I think Kyle Kuzma is much better than Lonzo.
I would say no to that
Really?
simply because Kuzma is atrocious on defense.
Yeah. See, I think if you took Ball and Kuzma and just
merged them
into one player,
one of the best players in the league.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
because Lonzo, his shot's broke as shit. It still is.
He's one of the best passers in the league, though, and one of the best rebounding guards, which is good. Kuzma's one of the best scorers, and Lonzo's a really great defender.
Kuzma's an athletic freak. That man can fly. But I don't know. I think the whole Anthony Davis trade blew up in Magic's face.
I think that messed up the Lakers really bad.
I think so too, because it looked awful, and I think it broke their chemistry.
It's because he had everybody in that trade.
Yeah.
He had Ingram, Kuzma, Ball, Zubac, and Hart in that trade.
He wanted everybody out.
That would offend me a little bit if you were willing to trade 5 of your best 6 players for one player.
I know. I'd be like, okay, so am I fucking nothing to? Am I a joke to you?
Is this a joke?
I don't know. That's gotta feel shitty. Knowing you were definitely a piece in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, I don't know. You think Anthony Davis is worth that much?
Yes.
You think he's still gonna end up going to LA?
I thought the trade was gonna be Ingram, either Kuzma or Ball, and then Hart, Zubac, and whatever other fillers they had to throw in there to match contracts. But that whole 5 thing, if I was the Pelicans, I would have taken that.
I think so too.
They want Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
That's obviously their main target right now. But I don't know if the Celtics are 100% willing to trade Jason Tatum. That's the thing. Because Danny Ainge came out and said, we'll trade anybody on the roster for him. But then it's like, well, you waited all this time. The Lakers aren't going to trade you their entire core anymore.
Yeah.
No one else is going to trade for a 1-year rental. So it's like, you can have Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, and a pick.
So do you think Paul George is ever gonna make his way to LA?
Nah, I think he's content, and he's playing like an MVP.
He really
right
is.
now.
He Westbrook.
Him and Russ are both playing like MVP candidates right now. Once they get Roberson back, I know a lot of people don't know Roberson, but he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
He went to Wagner, didn't he?
Yeah, Coach Ellis coached him. I think if Roberson comes back healthy, I think they possibly could beat the Warriors. Possibly. I don't think any other team, maybe except the Nuggets, could beat the Warriors in the West. And I think the Celtics, if they pull it together, can. Kawhi gets a little bit more help, like, I mean, I'm not saying the Raptors are bad. I'm saying Kawhi's can't be, like, the only, like, main scorer on the Raptors
Have you seen his new shoes?
No, they're so ugly.
Bro, I was pissed. Because, like, I like New Balance. Like, because I got wide-ass feet. And so I was like, oh, finally, fucking basketball shoes in wide. And I saw them. I was like, bitch, is this Times New Roman on the fucking heel? They look so fucking ugly.
But that's Kawhi for you. I mean, Kawhi is just one of those superstars that's not marketable.
I am still so pissed he left San Antonio.
I'm not a Spurs fan, so I'm okay.
I'm a
with
huge
it.
Spurs fan, but
I will say I respected, of course, like the three greats, Manu, Tony, Tim. Like, I respect them. I love Coach Pop, like, best coach of all time in my opinion. I hate the Spurs. Spurs fans mainly are what pissed me off.
They're crazy.
When it was the Spurs versus the Heat, and there was the whole built not bot thing, and that's all they would yell, and I'm just like, bitch, shut up.
I hated LeBron when he's on the Heat, but like when he came out to Cleveland, it kind of turned for me a little bit. I liked him a lot.
I think that's
more.
when the narrative changed for him, and then it helped because KD went to Golden State, so everybody loved LeBron again.
Yeah, and so KD became the new villain.
Mm-hmm. I always loved LeBron, and which really sucks because I'm a Celtics fan, and he always shits on us. But it's just like, I personally can't hate him. He does so much good for the community, like, and then I think he's the GOAT. So it's just like,
think so?
I can't hate on him.
I'm so tired of that fucking debate between. I think Kobe LeBron is a good argument. I don't like the Jordan LeBron argument.
I hate comparing eras because.
You see some of the bum ass dudes Jordan played against.
Yes, but then you say that, but it's like he also had like other legends that were playing at the same time as him that he had to beat. I think he came in at the perfect time for him. Where Stockton, Malone were aging, Bird, Magic, almost washed up bums at that point. But it's like I think he came in the perfect time for him. He was that transition guy.
I think everybody's starting to come down on LeBron though. Talk about being washed up a little bit.
I think he might have passed the torch.
You think
this year.
he's past his prime?
I thought going into the season he was going to take them to like the 6th seed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, he's still the best player in the league. He's taken a team that was 13th in the West, and then took them to the playoffs. So I was like, I thought he was still going to be the best player in the league, but I'm like, I don't know. I think he might have passed it. And I don't know if he passed it to KD. I don't know if he passed it to Giannis. I don't know if he passed it to James Harden.
Giannis is a fucking freak.
Or Anthony Davis. Like, those four are all like competing for like the best player in the league right now with LeBron. So it's like LeBron's going to have to show me something.
I think so. I don't know. I still think he's a great guy. But like, at first I didn't get the joke. It took me a minute because I can be a bit slow at times. But like, I remember people just started dropping pictures underneath like these posts that like LeBron had like a 20-point night or some shit, and they had like pictures of like Emmitt Smith in a Cardinals jersey, or like somebody else, but like or like Andre Johnson in a Titans jersey. It's like it's just not right.
Jaron sent me that thing and was like, "Can you explain this to me?" I was like, "They're saying he's washed."
Yeah,
like,
it's all these legends past their prime on a different team.
Yeah, and it might be true. Like I said, I'm gonna have to see if he makes the playoffs this year. And then I will make my final decision if he is not the greatest player in the league next year. I
think the moment LeBron became the GOAT in my eyes was that series against Golden State. 3-1. I will never forget that. I mean, talk about a team. Like, Golden State is assembled to bully the rest of the NBA. And then you have basically one man.
Okay, that year, it really wasn't one man.
It was Kyrie, too. But.
Kyrie definitely helped a lot. But everybody who says Kyrie was the MVP in that was dumb. LeBron led in every statistical category on both teams.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Jesus Christ.
Points, rebounds, blocks, steals, assists. How do you lead both teams in every stat?
You ever see that video that came out after it? We're like, Kyrie, where were you? It's like, Kevin Love, give me your ring, Kevin Love. Give me your fucking ring.
Kevin didn't really do much. Of course, he did his role.
Yeah.
But, and everybody always like, oh, LeBron had all this help. Michael Jordan had one of the best players in the league, a top 15 player in the league. Yeah. That's like giving LeBron Paul George, and then he had the best rebounder of damn near all time. I'm like, that's giving him Paul George and Andre Drummond and saying, and then Greg Popovich and saying, go win a championship. Okay. Like, I'm going to three-peat, take a 3-year break and go three-peat again too. Yeah. Like, So I think Jordan had a lot of help. He's still the second best player in my eyes.
I think, but God, talk about Jordan's kind of like a mythical beast too, because like, God, his gambling problems and shit. Like, was that one night he got trashed in Vegas and showed up and won a fucking finals game? Just fuck around and win a finals game.
Flu game too. And I was like, he was probably just drunk. I personally don't like Michael Jordan as a person anymore. After
he's been punching down a lot, like on LeBron.
He owns privately funded prisons, which are just like run for money.
Dead ass.
Yes. So I was like, after I learned that, I was like, no.
That's just wrong. I think private prisons are.
Yeah, and then of course LeBron came out and it's like, I was the GOAT after that. You know, everyone saw that video and it was like, oh, shut up, you know, you're not the GOAT. And then
I don't know. I think Jordan he punches down a lot of guys now. Like, and he's just saying like he's just trying to hang on to what he has now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because like Magic's a pretty good sport. I mean, Magic was great at the time, but like he's
like, oh yeah, Kobe's the best Laker of all time.
Yeah.
And that kind of ended the debate between Magic or Kobe being like, the best Laker, because it's just like,
I'll say it.
Yeah. Like, I was great. He's better. I respect that a lot, because I know Kobe won't come out and say anybody was ever better than him.
Yeah.
MJ won't ever come out and say anyone was better than him.
It's the Mamba mentality.
And to a point, LeBron would say that they were better than him.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like, nah, I'm the GOAT now. Like, I think I proved that.
I think KD is kind of slept on, but I don't like KD. So
I think KD will retire as a top 10 player all time. I don't think he will get the respect he deserves from everyone until he wins a championship outside of Golden State.
Yeah.
Because those don't count in my eyes.
No, they don't.
They count for Steph. They count for Clay. They count for Draymond. They do not count for KD. They don't count for KD.
You don't get to count that shit. Do you think he's going to move out of Golden State after this season?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope Clay leaves. I hope Draymond leaves. And I hope KD leaves.
Leave Steph there all alone?
Yeah.
He still put up 50.
Steph is one of the best players in the league. Best point guard in the league.
He's the best shooter of all time.
Oh, easily. Easily. Like, Ray Allen is not even comparing. Reggie Miller is not comparing. Like,
I mean, no, because it's just... some of the shots he makes are just fucking ridiculous.
And then Clay is one of the best shooters of all time too, but people forget that just because of how amazing Steph is.
Yeah. Like,
Clay's form is probably the purest I've ever seen.
And he's good on defense too. He's really good on defense.
He really is one of the best players in the league, but people always forget about him. So Golden State has a lot of talent. Draymond isn't as great as everybody thinks he is, but he's one of the best all-around players in the league still.
I kind of want to see KD go to New York.
Okay, like I was saying, you know, everyone wants to go to the Knicks, Celtics, or Lakers. I'm like, he might go there. I still don't think Kyrie's leaving.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Kyrie's leaving. And wherever Zion gets drafted, I think that's going to be like the new hot spot for conversation. He might not even be the best player in this draft. Like, Ja and RJ are both really good.
You see his shoe get blown out?
Yeah.
You see Nike stock after that too. It tanked.
Yes.
That shit was awful.
Yeah, that could be very bad. They need to give him his own shoe because
some of the
sneakerheads
were saying like he shouldn't have been wearing that shoe in the first place. That's like they said they're like that's a guard shoe.
Yeah, he was wearing a Paul George's.
I think so, yeah.
And he's the shooting guard, small forward. So, I mean, I guess
small forward. Air quotes around. That man's a fucking tank.
He's like 6'9", but
ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he should have been wearing LeBron's, but it's like whatever's comfortable.
Can you imagine though, like Kyrie, KD, and Zion all on one team?
I can imagine it. I can't imagine it going well.
Really?
KD and Kyrie are both very ball-dominant players. Mm-hmm. But that's what everyone said about Harden and Chris Paul, too, and, you know, they're doing well. But Zion likes to be the star of the show, I think. You know, he can say whatever he wants to the media. It's just like when you're that athletic and you get all those cameras on you all the time, you start wanting that.
We've been hearing about Zion since he was like a sophomore in high school.
Exactly. So I think he does like the attention. I mean, obviously I don't know his mind. I'm not going to speak for him.
But I mean, in New York, there's plenty of attention to go around.
That is true. But Kyrie hates the attention.
Yeah.
And you know how much attention he would get playing for New York. Like, I get Boston is a prestigious franchise, but you're playing in New York,
like Madison Square Garden,
and then you're having Zion and KD on that team. Like, Kyrie would be pissed off all the time.
And the thing about Kyrie and KD is they're both kind of like passive aggressive about a lot of the shit. They don't actually talk about it, but it fucking pisses them off to no end.
Yeah, and they'll just give you one little short comment and move on.
Yeah. Speaking of free agency, let's shift it to the NFL. I want to talk about the NFL.
Yeah.
I can hear a million people clicking off right now too. All the listeners like, oh, this shit.
I barely even watch the NFL anymore either, but you can take some shots at it.
But I think free agency this year is gonna be interesting too.
There's a lot of big names this year, so that'll be fun to watch. But there's a lot of teams that got to make some moves.
Yeah, I think the Patriots need to make some moves too.
You're talking about the Super Bowl champion Patriots?
Yeah, the fucking snooze bowl champions. That shit sucked. That was an awful game.
I was actually at work. I didn't even get to watch it.
You didn't miss anything.
You could watch
the last 5 minutes. Yeah. But okay, let's since you're a Pats fan, who do you think will succeed Tom Brady?
Oh man, we've been talking about that for some years now. I thought Garoppolo was.
Yeah.
But then it came up to where we had to pay Garoppolo to sit on the bench, and it was just like
not worth it.
That's not happening. So honestly, I have no idea. I don't know who we're gonna draft to back up at quarterback because right now it's he was our backup like some years ago, and then we
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, Hoyer.
That's what it is.
He was our backup for a while, and then he left, and then now he's our backup again. So I thought that was funny. He got a new number and everything.
I don't know, man. I will never say Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Just because you're a Rodgers fan.
I'm a Rodgers fan. I mean, I think there's a difference between the most accomplished player in the league and the most talented player in the
definitely,
league.
Because Bill Russell is the most accomplished player of all time in basketball.
Yeah.
But I think Tom Brady is the GOAT. Obviously, I'm a Patriots fan. We can go up.
I think Bill Belichick can build a fantastic franchise-winning team every time from nothing.
Oh yeah, I think Bill Belichick is the best coach of all time too. Another biased statement,
I don't like the way Bill Belichick coaches, but I have to respect it.
Yeah,
that's not the way I would coach it, but he obviously gets the results.
Mm-hmm.
And God,
I always compare them to the Spurs because Tim Duncan was the Tom Brady, and then Pop was the Belichick because it's like they're both like just that kind of franchise, where the coach is like, I don't give a fuck about you, but I'm gonna coach you.
Well, I think Pop is misunderstood. Pop's grumpy in the games and shit, and he's hard on the players. But when they win, he lets up. Belichick does not fucking win. Belichick looks pissed when he wins 3 Super Bowls in a row. He's like, fuck it. Yeah. Pop will joke. He'll smile. He'll like, hey, good job, guys, kind of thing. Belichick's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Did you see Tom Brady kiss Robert Kraft on the mouth?
Okay. I'm a Patriots fan. I have nothing to do with what they do outside of that.
God.
He kisses his son on the mouth too. Yeah. He's a very weird person just from that.
Fucking
on the field, I love him.
Those are the loudest cheers the entire night in our room. We were watching my friends in one of the dorm rooms, and we were so bored. The loudest cheers the entire night because they were holding each other so close already. And then one of my friends was like, kiss, and then they both like went to the side. We're like, oh. Started freaking out.
I think it's a little weird, but I mean, if they're okay with it, I mean.
See those pictures? People would send them around where it's like, oh, here's the prostitute Robert Kraft got caught with. It was Tom Brady in a fucking wig. I don't know. I don't know. I like Tom Brady. Like he's a very fundamental quarterback. He's your model pocket passer. But I think Aaron Rodgers has more talent. I just think the Packers.
And that can be debated, but then that goes to the same thing where KD is more talented than LeBron. But who's better overall? Okay,
see, one thing I want to talk about too is NBA versus NFL because LeBron got all the heat on him because he said like NFL owners have that slave mentality, and I don't know if that's entirely fair to every NFL owner. A lot of them
not everyone. Obviously.
A lot of them are old white dudes, of course, and some are gonna be just old school by nature. But I think too because they're saying it's. NBA is more player focused, and I think NFL is more team focused, and I think that kind of comes down to the way you play the game. I think NBA, because like I said, LeBron can turn a franchise around. You bring one guy on the team, turns a franchise around. In football, it takes 11 guys to score. Like I said, you can bring all-star talent like Antonio Brown, wherever he's going to go. Say he goes to to a shit team, Like,
I mean, Josh Gordon was on the Browns, and while he was playing, and they still sucked.
yeah. And like, one player can only do so much in football. One player can change everything in the NBA. So,
Yeah.
of course, they're going to be more player-focused in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more about the team in the NFL. I think it's the way it needs to be played.
Yeah, that's why it's hard calling one specific guy the GOAT of football. Because, like, are you going to talk about just quarterbacks? Are you talking about just running backs, linebackers, safeties, linemen?
Because you're taking 11 guys and turning them into one unit, into one thing that moved.
Like, it's not all Brady.
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't have Edelman or Gronk.
Edelman's fucking insane. And, that's one thing, too, because, like, people get upset all the time when the Patriots win, and they say, oh, the Patriots, they stand for white supremacy and stuff like that. And I can't see that. I get they have a lot of white guys on the team, especially like a wide receiver, because it seems like every white receiver eventually at one point will end up on the Patriots. Yeah. But I don't know if that's Belichick's fault. I think it's the scouts' fault for overlooking these guys.
Probably, just because typically, the rumor is black guys are more athletic and explosive and stuff like that. So they're just going to look like Edelman was a quarterback.
Yeah. I can't say. But you look at Adam Thielen. Thielen is a fucking animal for the Vikings. And like I said, he was called sneaky athletic coming out of college. The dude ran like a fucking 4.4.
Sneaky because he's white.
Exactly, yeah. Like, sneaky. I hate that so much. Oh, this guy right here, he's sneaky athletic. Like, no, he's just a fucking athlete, just like anybody else. Now, there are some guys that, like, they're smaller, but they hit hard. And that's different kind of thing. But some of these guys are like 6'5", and it's just like, are you just saying that because they're white kind of thing?
Yeah.
But, it's whatever. I think Rodgers, I think that's one of the things that people forget about. He's got great legs.
He can run. He can run. He's definitely up there. But, see, I don't think you can go I don't think you can call Rodgers to go because I don't even know if he's better than Brady right now. And Brady degressed a lot.
Yeah. I think Rodgers this past season, he looked awful. I'll be honest. I did not like the way Rodgers played.
That's not his fault.
I don't think so. I think he's playing injured the entire season. I think that the week 1 game against the Bears, that's going to add to his resume for why he's one of the greatest of all time. Where he played that game on one leg and came back from 20 points.
Well, that's always the thing with Kobe too.
God, yeah. Every great needs like that one, like either I was injured or I was sick kind of story, and I still won it. But I think Rodgers, just the Packers cannot build around him.
The Packers have problems.
They don't give a shit about like Rodgers is wasting away, and they're like,
oh well.
They just keep throwing away.
I think if he was in the same situation as Brady, he would probably have 4 rings. I don't think he would have 6, but I think he would have 4 at least.
I think so too. I just think they're 2 different players, to an extent the way they play the game too. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. We got rid of Jordy. And I think
that was so dumb.
I just because that was like Roger, that was his guy.
Exactly.
You cannot get rid of him.
Yeah, like, come on now.
I don't know. I don't think that's fair. But at the same time, I can't. I'm not the GM.
Yeah, we're not the GM. Like we're saying this like we have inside intel on that.
I think the Packers they have promising prospects at wide receivers like Valdez-Scantling, Equanimeous St. Brown.
I've never even heard of these guys.
You never heard of him? Me and Jared we have been following this guy since like we were in high school.
Uh-huh.
The only reason is because one day after practice, Jared's like, "Hey, look at this guy on what's the app that all the
Bleacher Report?
Not Bleacher Report. It was like Rival or something like that, where like they have like star ratings for the scouts, shit like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they had his highlights, and he's like, this guy's named Equanimeous, and I was like, what the fuck? And that's the only reason I've known him. And he ended up on the Packers of all places. But I think there's a lot of young talent, but at the same time, Rodgers, you can see him on multiple times. He gets so pissed off with them because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's basically LeBron right now, though.
With all these young guys.
Yeah.
I don't, and people are saying like, oh, if Lonzo was healthy, I don't think there's all that.
I think it would be a difference. I don't know if it would be as drastic as people think it would be.
I think the season was over from the second that they tried doing the Anthony Davis trade.
Yeah,
because I think it just shot the team morally.
But they definitely wanted to go for that because they missed out on Paul George by saying, "Oh, he's just going to come here anyway." Yeah.
And then Paul's like,
I like it here.
I'm happy here.
And they didn't want that same thing to happen.
I don't know why you would be happy in Oklahoma City. Have you ever been to Oklahoma City?
I have not. I've driven through Oklahoma, but
I
was born in Kansas, so it's worse.
It's miserable there. But I don't know. The only thing too is like with Green Bay, it's like trying to attract free agents.
Mm-hmm. Like
it's not an ideal location. How the hell are gonna? Other than like people who would just like love the
It's a
history of it.
prestigious franchise, yeah.
Yeah, but it's literally like it's the size of Shirts, Texas. Like it's if Shirts had its own football team, and it's northern Wisconsin. It's not close to Milwaukee.
Yeah. See, it's like it's tough to get free agents to those places. Like nobody even wants to go to Milwaukee to play with Giannis.
Yeah,
and Giannis is one of the best players in the league.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's rough because like Green Bay, like I love it because like it feels very like hometown because like I said, there's white picket fences on the outside of the parking lot next to people who have little 1-story houses and a front lawn, and they're nice as can be. But like, what superstar athlete is gonna want to go there?
Yeah, Kawhi.
Kawhi could do it. But like, I mean, we had Reggie White in the '90s, and that worked for him because that was his kind of personality. He was, he was. They call him the Angel of Lambeau because he's a very religious guy, very calm guy. I wasn't really into the whole superstar lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that worked for him really good. But I just don't know what you're gonna do about it going forward.
Yeah, it's hard to attract free agents to small market locations.
Yeah. God, speaking. I mean, Jimmy Graham too. We got him, but he's washed up as shit.
Yeah.
I say we give him one more year, but I don't know. I think we're gonna keep Clay Matthews.
And he hasn't been doing
He is washed. So washed.
But he's just one of those players where you don't want to lose until they're completely gone.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's the personality of it, but like
it's like sorry to keep referring to the NBA, but it's like when the Celtics traded KG and Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's when they're
gonna
done.
take every last drop out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know with Matthews, because like Kyler Fackrell, like he was like a second team guy for a long time. He stepped up when Nick Perry got injured. He was doing great. He looked like a young Clay Matthews. I'm like. But now they're talking about cutting Perry. I think Perry's the better of the three of them. I think you cut Clay because he takes up the most contract space.
Yeah.
And you get Fackrell and Perry. I'm just going off about that. But, I mean, there's plenty of interesting shit that's going to be going on during spring break, too. You going anywhere for spring break?
I was trying to.
Nobody
wanted to make plans with me. Oh. But it's whatever. I get to keep working.
Woo.
Trying to go to like Six Flags or something. Just do something, you know.
I've always kind of like been apprehensive because I like Six Flags, but I don't like the lines. I don't like the food, and it's expensive as hell in general. It's a long day to spend money.
Yeah, I just have the season pass, so it's like we go. I don't eat anything. I eat before, and we can eat after.
They make so much money on the season passes because they know people will buy them
and
for like
go once.
one time, and that's gonna be it.
I try to go at least like 5 times a summer, which is not really a lot either, but it's like. So you have to get people to go with you because I'm not going to go and wait in line by myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hardest part for me, getting somebody to go with me because my friends will either be working or they're doing something else. Mm-hmm. So it's just like...
I was thinking about going to Corpus for spring break, but we're having difficulties getting the travel because everybody's like last minute, like, I can't go, I can go, well, I can't do this kind of thing. And it's... I wanted this done 2 weeks ago, but here we are. You know.
Exactly. I made a group chat for like my other group of friends, and we like a month or two ago, I didn't get any responses. I got like 2 responses. Yeah, let's do it. Everyone else red. So it's just like
you need somebody.
This is not happening
because nobody wants to be the pain in the ass. That's like always nagging people to, hey, get the money together. Hey, we need to plan about this.
I wasn't even gonna push it. I was just like, I think I asked one more time, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna force y'all to go hang out with me.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. It's whatever. Well, Malik, it was awesome getting to hang out with you, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
This is probably the longest podcast we had. I'm looking forward to having to edit all this. But make sure to check out M80 on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, and make sure to follow him on Twitter. I'll make sure to tag you in the post we put up.
Yes, sir.
But make sure to pick up your trash. Don't litter. Keep our river clean. And I will see you in the next one.
Yes, sir.